In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the isometric view of this object. So I'm going to start with a new template, the AutoCAD DWT. And if you don't have already your isometric drafting, turn that on so you can turn it on here and here. I don't care for the grid pattern, so I'm going to turn my grid off. And I'm going to leave my dynamic mode on. Now, the first thing is when you're working with isometric drawings, you want to leave your ortho snap on or orthographic mode on. So either hit F8 or you can click the button here. As I type a line, if I just arbitrarily, I'm going to need to switch planes. My views, I have a front view, which is my ISO left plane, a top view, which is my top view, and a right view. Now, I'm just going to draw, and turn that off. I'm just going to draw a line, and I want to show you what it means by the isometric. So I'm just going to move this over. You don't have to draw this, I'm just explaining stuff right now. This angle here is 30 degrees. And this angle here is 30 degrees. That's what makes up an isometric view that we're working on, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an isometric view of this object. So I'm going to arbitrarily start my line at 10, 10, just to give me a start point. I am going to turn my isometric left plane on, and I'm going to turn left plane and turn it on. So I'm going to start again, 10, 10, and I'm going to come out 4.5. Now I know the total height is 2.38, so I'm going to type in 2.38. Now I'm going to come over, notice that it comes over 0.62. I'm going to start creating my object, and then it comes over 1.4. Now, let me delete that one. So I've got 0.62. You can see the length here in my properties. To get your properties box up, PR for properties, and it'll pop up. If you don't have this box here, you type in PR. I use this a lot for information. So I also know I can come down a line 0.62. The reason I do that, oops, turn my snaps off. If I do that, I'm looking for this line right here. See how it's 0.62? Well, a 45-degree line has 0.62 by 0.62. So I'm going to grip this and I'm going to pull it over. This angle is a 45-degree angle. It's not actually 45 in the drawing because it's isometric. So I'm going to delete and move this down to here. Now this is 1.4, so you can see that's right here. That's this length right here. Now you can't draw a 30-degree angle, but what you can do is, what we'll have to do is work backwards from this down. So we'll have to figure out what that height is by working in reverse. So if I look at the top, I see that it's 1.4, 0.62, and 1.38, right? So I'm going to use these numbers to create my object. From the information that I've got before, I pulled up my instructions before, and I have drawn this object before. I need to know this height here, and I have to figure that out from the previous directions by drawing it in the multi-view. So I know the height of this is 0.95, so I'm going to bring this and I'm going to draw a line, and I've got to switch to the right plane. I'm going to draw my line and bring it up 0.95. Alright, so I'll switch back views. When I bring it up 0.95, that's this edge here, and it comes directly up to this point here. Now, we know that it's 2 inches wide, so I'm going to bring a line out this direction 2 inches. I'm going to copy all of this data. I'm going to copy all those lines, and I'm going to bring them over here. Now when I do that, I can go ahead and start connecting lines and deleting lines. So I can't see I won't be able to see this line here or that line there. Now I've got the outside of my shape. All right. Now here's the other thing. We know that I go 0.62 back and there's a cutout. That's 0.62 up and 0.62 back. So I'm going to draw a line, and I'm just going to switch colors right now. Typically you wouldn't do this, but I'm just switching colors, so these are my construction lines that I'll get rid of later. So I'm going to come up 0.62, and I am going to bring a line at 0.62 here, and I'm going to bring a line at 0.62 here. Now I can copy these. I'm just showing you different ways to do it. Draw another line, 0.62 here. Now what happens is there is a, copy all these from this base point to this base point, and I'm going to draw a line, L for line, from here to here. That's the hollow section. See this dashed line? That represents this line here. So what I'd end up getting rid of is this section here. You can't see this line, nor this line, nor this line. Now, we also know that this line needs to be moved over to 0.62 because there's a gap here. So I'm going to just draw a construction line straight up, and I'm going to move this line from this to this intersection. Okay? Now, actually I'm going to copy it. Make sure I'm touching my lines. Oops. Okay, the reason I'm doing that is because it's 1.38 back. So if I draw a line from here, and I gotta switch views to the left, if I just point 1.38 back and up, that, where it crosses, tells me where this line needs to be. So I'm gonna switch. There's a lot of switching to different planes in here. So I'm going to trim this up. So I know that I have to come down this 1.38 to this face of the view. Okay? So if I, hold on, if I extend this down to this line right here, where it's cut out, well, oh, because I have to explode. I drew it as a polyline. I extend that to here, then I can see where there's a hollow spot going down and it touches the face of it. So I'm going to trim all this up. And I'm going to delete this line, and I'm going to delete these. And I'm going to draw this back. Now, I'm going to switch and go by layer, switch my colors. And now what I have, and I'm going to draw this up, and I'm going to match lines. I'm going to copy this to here, and I'm going to copy this to there, and I'm going to connect this line to this line, and I'm going to move this to back here, and I'm going to delete this. So now as I'm looking down, I can see this hollowed out space. So I'm going to move this line to here and actually extend this one down. Alright, so when I'm looking at it, this part right here, where my arrow's pointing to this line here, is representative of this and this. This line right here are these two lines right here. Okay, we have the hollow cutout underneath of it. I can actually project this line if I'm in the right plane. I'm going to front plane, which is my left, and I project that back, it actually is on the same plane line as this. So it doesn't look like it gets connected. So there's an optical illusion occurring. Okay? So when we look at it, it looks like we can see that it's solid. All right? Now, I'm going to bring this down to here. Now I've got a hollow cutout that's 0.62 wide back here, and then 1.38. So I'm going to come and I'm going to change colors again just for visual. So I'm going to draw a line, and I'm going to leave my ortho on, and I'm going to type 0.62, and then I'm going to bring it up. I should have drawn just a regular line. Pick that point, come back 0.62, and I'm going to come up. These are just construction lines. I'm going to draw another line, and it's going to be 1.38, and it's going to come up. Now, that's the width of these two, 0.62 and 1.38, and I've got a width of 0.62 this direction. So I am going to bring a line. I got to switch planes to my right. I'm going to bring a line out this direction, 0.62, and bring it straight up. I'm going to bring a line out this, 0.62, and bring it straight up. Now, I can basically copy this from here to here and here to here. Now, where these two intersect, if I use those in my trim lines, I just typed in TR. I'm going to undo that and explain that. Type in TR. I use these to cut by, and I get rid of these long lines. And get rid of that because it's hollow here. And then I just take a line and connect these two to these two. And I'm going to match these colors. And I'm going to trim by that. I'm going to trim, I'm cutting by that and getting rid of that. So now, this, if I wanted to create hollow lines, I'm not going to, not as this part of the project. They could be dash lines, but I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to trim this up, get rid of that. Okay? So that's what that looks like for my isometric. So now I need to draw where my circle is. So I am going to go to the front view, which is my left plane, and I need to locate it. We know it's 1.5 up and 1.3 over. But here's the thing, is I need, and I'm going to leave that as red, I need to make sure where it's located properly. So first thing I'm going to do is actually I'm going to come back and give myself the 2-inch width, and I'm going to go to the front and I'm going to draw a line, and I'm going to come back 4.5. Now the reason that I did that, that's the actual width and depth of the object. Alright, so I need to come back 1.32. So I'm going to bring a line, and I'm changing colors. You don't have to. This is just for explanation. I'm going to come back 1.32, and I'm going to come up 1.5. This allows me to locate specifically on this face where that circle goes. So I'm going to type in EL for ellipse, pick this point, oops, I'm going to type in EL for ellipse, I'm going to click on iso circle, pick the end point, and I'm going to do a diameter of 1. So I'll click on diameter, click on 1, and put that center there. Now, I can copy this if I wanted, but I've got to change planes because I need to go into the right plane because I needed to come back this direction too. So I could, if I wanted, to start putting in my isometric hidden lines, but I'm not going to. It's just an option. I just wanted to let you know. So this is what the object will look like when you get finished. All right, so that's it for this video.